guys today?
Yes, it was our first vet day. It was scheduled. I mean, this is a tough week. I mean, we've had pads on for the last 3 days, and I'm just being smart. With our veteran players who we know more about. We can rest those guys, and we're going to rest the other half tomorrow. We didn't want to do the entire group in one day. Kind of affect both sides of the ball. So we kind of split them in two groups. So tomorrow you're going to see Sanders, you're going to see Vaughn, you're going to see Wolfie tomorrow, Marshall. They'll be out tomorrow. Everyone's up for the scrimmage on Saturday.
Vance, there's sort of this narrative out there that you've already told your quarterbacks the decision. Can you speak to that at all?
No, that is not happening, guys. It's an open competition still. No one's been told they're a starter. We're still evaluating these guys. Again, I mean, it's been a grind of a week, on both sides of the ball. So no, we're gonna play our game next Thursday and go from there on who's gonna be the guy. But no one's been told that.
More consistency out of your quarterbacks today.
I'm sorry.
More consistency of the guys today.
Yeah. Again, it's training camp, so it's going to be some ups and downs with those guys. Everyone's still learning. Defensively, they're making plays. We got multiple coverages in, multiple pressures in. So it's the up and downs of practice. It's a normal deal. But again, the quarterback, when you see his mistakes, is obviously is a mistake. But when a corner makes one or a linebacker makes one, no one really recognizes that on that scale. But everyone's had good plays and bad plays, not just the quarterbacks.
Have you seen Carlos Henderson take a step forward the last few days?
Yes. I mean, he's finding getting in NFL shape. I mean, he wasn't in great shape in the spring and early on in training camp, but you can finally see the guy getting in great shape. He's figuring out what to do. That's also important for a rookie, but he can make plays, guys. He's a big, strong guy with the ball in his hands. He's a very, very engaged player. He loves to play the game, so we're excited about Carlos.
How's DeMarcus adjusting to playing on the edge? You made a couple of plays.
Yeah, he's doing better. That's a different deal going from a three-point to a stand-up. Obviously, you see more, and he's got more responsibility as far as dropping in coverage. So he's making progress. He's making progress. With our injuries there, he was our best option on our roster. So moving forward, I mean, he's going to play a role there. So we're excited about him. He's got to continue to work, and kind of figure out how to stand up and play in space. That's the biggest issue, going from defensive end to an outside linebacker.
Is it possible that he evolves into some kind of hybrid role?
Well, we drafted him with that vision as a kind of a defensive end, inside third down rusher, maybe stand up from time to time. So obviously it happened faster than we thought as far as moving him to outside backer, but that was our vision when we drafted DeMarcus.
In this role, does his body type change at all? Do you want him to get smaller?
No, that's a great question. No, because he is also a defensive end. So we don't want him so small where we can't put him inside on sub and on first, second down. So we want him to get leaner, as far as the body fat portion. But as far as smaller, no. That's a great question. That's been discussed.
Scrimmage, how much will that factor into all the positional battles, and what are you trying to glean from that?
I think the practices and the scrimmage, that's all going to be talked about on Sunday morning of where we are. I mean, it's kind of the halfway point. Starting Monday, we're going to have a training camp day, but Tuesday and Wednesday is going to be more Chicago. So absolutely, that's going to be a big deal for our roster as far as who's doing things the right way, who's making plays, who's making less error. Absolutely, that's going to be a big part of what we're doing. When you say scrimmage, it should tweak a player to say, okay, my best is needed. So that's why you say scrimmage for these guys, so you can get their best. Sorry.
How you're going to structure it?
I'm sorry?
Do you know how you're going to structure it?
We're going to have a little bit of special teams, obviously, and but more one versus ones for sure. Maybe 12 plays for each group. So about 36 to 40 plays total. Probably not totally live for the vet guys, but more a thud.
What do you see? Isaiah McKenzie's obviously made some plays out here, but what have you seen from him in terms of things he's still got to kind of the next steps for him to continue to grow through?
Consistency. He had a big drop today on the third down, but just being consistent for young guys. This week is tough because camp's right. Camp's going on. We've been in pass for 4 or 5 days now, and just the dog days of camp kind of jumps on those guys. So they got to push through this week. It's a tough week for all of us, but if they can get through to Saturday, it's going to become normal again for those guys. But for Isaiah, just pushing through and continue to work on his craft.
Vance, for the Saturday scrimmage, 12 plays for the 1-versus-1s. Will Trevor and Paxton be mixed in equally?
That's the
And then-
plan. That's the plan to kind of give those guys 6 and 6 with both groups.
Okay.
You know, you want those guys to have a chance to play with the ones, both guys, and the twos. You know, we are structured now, offensive line wise, where we've got 2 pretty good groups. You know, so that's always a concern, even in preseason. And how do you play a guy who's involved with being the first quarterback with a second line? But our 2 lines are pretty good right now, so I feel really good about those guys playing ones and playing with twos.
Marshall made a play on the ball yesterday. How's he come along?
Guys, you know, he's been really, really good from the spring until now. I mean, he's had a hell of a camp so far. He had a hell of a spring. You know, he's a leader on our football team. He's playing really good football right now. So I'm happy. You know, he's kind of, you know, back into his zone, and you know, he feels about what he's doing.
Vance, talking about leaders, you got a lot of alpha males on defense, a
Yeah.
lot of leaders. In the next month, is it important to you that some guys on offense kind of step up and you see that on the other side of the ball?
Yeah, it's happening, yes, but it's happening from Menelik Watson, from Leary, you know, from both quarterbacks trying to lead. DT's doing a good job of leading, Emmanuel. So we've got guys on both sides of the ball that want to lead this football team. But obviously the personalities are on defense. That's important when you're a leader, you know. Sure. You want guys to be bold. And that's been the defense for the most part. But we've got Menelik, who's a tough-minded guy. Leary, who's played on good football teams. He's been on good offensive lines. C.J. Anderson's trying to lead. So, yeah, we got a bunch of leaders, guys. You know, we got guys who want to win. That's important.
How would you say that?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go.
How would you say Paxton is taking to your coaching, and what do you tell him when he takes off to run in a 7-on-7 drill?
Just play ball. You know, you want Paxton to have as many natural reps as possible. So when he takes off and run, I like it because I don't want him to sit back there and force the ball and make a bad decision. So him running in 7-on-7 doesn't bother me. You know, his deal right now is to put good plays together back to back to back, and that's what we want from Paxton right now. I mean, you can see his playmaking ability. He can throw the ball into the field. He can scramble with it, but we want more plays being made back to back to back. You know, put a string of plays together.
What did you see from the increased activity with Jamal Charles, and then specifically what is catching your eye with this running back group at this point?
Well, the group overall, it's a good group. It's major competition there. You know, with Jamal getting more team reps and getting more 7-on-7 reps, you can see his playmaking ability. Even today with the wheel route, as a receiver, he's going to be key for us. You know, and in my opinion, to use Jamal in a certain role that will help keep him healthy. You know, and you know we can get 10 to 12 specialty plays per game for Jamal, screens and wheel routes and outside runs. That's going to make us a better football team.
Are you pacing him for the season, or does he have to show enough for you to kind of make the team in terms of his health?
Both. You know, yeah, absolutely. You know, we're pacing him, but we want to see him obviously, you know, get back to, you know, somewhat what he was. You know, so we can make a decision there, absolutely, but also pacing for the season. That makes sense?
Yeah, but
Both.
you have to see enough to make sure he's healthy to help you out.
To decide for
Yeah.
our football team, but also not burn him if he is there
Right.
for the season.
Vance, you said just a second ago, Paxton back-to-back plays. I guess I asked you the same question on Trevor. A short sentence on what you'd like to see.
On Trevor, I think Trevor's been solid. You know, he hadn't done a lot of huge error stuff, I should say, but he's been solid. He's been Trevor. You know, I mean, he's been consistent.
How's Gotsis the last 2 days?
Look better. You know, we've given him more reps the last couple days. We started him off slow because of the knee, but he's working his way back.
Would you ever want Trevor, the way of his personality, just to go out and just kind of win it and do things maybe even out of character? Is that something you'd ever tell a guy, like take more chances or be bolder? Is that not part of this?
Trevor's playing quarterback, you know, and it's not based on his personality. I mean, he's making the reads and the ball goes there. So
Okay.
no, I've never talked to Trevor about his personality. I mean, he is playing the position. He calls the play. He makes the read. The ball should go there. That's where the ball goes. So that's not about his personality.
Okay, thank you, Coach.
All right, guys. Thank you. Thank you.